What's up guys, Corvus here and welcome to episode 1 of my newest playthrough in Europa Universalis for the Rights of Man expansion. We are going to be playing through as the Ottoman Turks. I want to check out the new harem system, and I also want to check out some of the great power mechanics. I've never played as the Ottomans before since about like the first month of EU4, probably, something like that. So it's going to be interesting to see how they've changed. I remember the Byzantines could be quite annoying blockading the strait, but that shouldn't work anymore because they don't own both sides of the strait. So maybe a bit of an easier whitewash over the Byzantines early on. But we are going to get underway in 1 second. Like in most of my campaigns, I have done some slight modifications to the game. Like, I basically got rid of corruption by giving both myself and all of the AI -5 corruption. So you can still get it, but it'll go away very fast. I've also done some edits where we now have, me and the AI both have 25 AI advisors on each section to pick from by default. We get free 100 military leaders, basically. Generals and admirals now cost 25, and I think that's the main bulk of everything. Yeah, that's about it, I'm pretty sure. I didn't edit any of the idea groups or anything like that yet. I did do that in my previous campaign and the one before that. And we may eventually get around to doing that in this campaign, but we will have to see how things go. So what's new about Rights of Man? This first episode's just going to really cover what's new about the new expansion and what's going on with the Ottomans. So we're going to start with what's new in the expansion. So we have great powers. They were in the game previously, but they're more important now. So the great powers in the game at the start are the Ottomans, the Mamluks, the Timurids, Ming, Lithuania, France, Castile and England. So if we go to this screen, you can see this is the ranking. Ming has a 1109 development. We all have 100% technology now. They've got rid of like Western tech, Eastern tech. Those technology groups still exist, but that only defines what units you have basically now. It doesn't define how advanced technologically you are. So they got rid of westernization. They've introduced something called institutions. If we look at technology, you can see the entire world starts with basically the same now. But if we go here, institutions, there's only one at the start of the game, and it's feudalism. And all the green places have fully embraced feudalism. All the red places are sort of tribal areas that haven't. But if we look here, you can see feudalism is growing in these red striped provinces, but the country itself hasn't embraced it yet. Like these, this part of the Timurids has the feudalism, institution, fully developed in all of these provinces, but the country as a whole hasn't embraced it. So once they can embrace it. The Timurids at the start can embrace feudalism. You just need enough money, because to adopt and embrace one of the institutions, you need to pay based on how much of your country is already under control of that. One other major thing I did about the game, I basically made estates not matter. Like, they don't expect to control any land. So we are going to gradually over time revoke all of the estates' land. I just find them too micromanagey for me. It's like in CK2 with the council. I'm not a big fan of that. I would really like it if they introduced something that, like Civ has, for you can put like production and food and stuff, the city planner thing, you can set that to automatic. It would be nice if you could set your states to automatic. I just can't be bothered, really, if I'm being honest, to go to every province and go like, oh, this one would be like 5% better at having a nobility estate to raise its manpower than this one, so I should give that one to the nobility. It's just too micromanagey for me. So that's probably the biggest change in Rights of Man, is the change to technology. Ottomans, we have a new government type, and it is an Ottoman government. Yearly legitimacy plus 0.5, unjustified demands minus 10%, diplomats plus 1, number of states plus 5, national focus cooldown minus 5, and we have, where would I see my, well anyway, our government form basically, we don't get an heir until our king turns 30. Once the king turns 30, we will get, from our harem, we will spawn 3 choices of an heir, and we'll pick the best, obviously. We do start out, however, with the best ruler in the game at game start, I believe, 556, Sultan Mehmet II Fatih Osmanoglu. He has Conqueror. That's a not randomly generated trait, it's actually specifically for Sultan Mehmet II. Minus 5 years of separatism. We get another one. You would normally only get this first trait when your person turned 15, but because he starts the game as a very special ruler, that gave him it a bit early. We'll gain this in 10 years, so you're meant to gain that at age 25, and then you gain this 25 years after the first one, so you're meant to gain it at age 40. We do have a bit weird, we're a bit weird because we start age 12, but we are not in a, what's it called? What is the name of the council where they don't let you declare war? I can't remember. I really can't remember specifics. So we don't start in a regency council, that's the word. You only have regency councils now if you don't have a consort, otherwise the consort takes over. And yeah, for your heir, until your heir comes of age. So let's get started on this. We are going to start by picking some rivals. So our first rival we're going to pick, I think, is going to be the Byzantines, because we're obviously going to go to war with them. Hungary wouldn't, I don't really want to go be rivaled to Austria from the start of the game. They have rivaled me, unfortunately. Lithuania we're going to rival. Lithuania, when they get inherited by Poland or get put in a personal union by Poland, we should get plus 10 power projection. There's another thing, because we're the 3rd rank great power in the world, we get plus 20 power projection, just constant, flat rate. That goes up to 25 if you are in 1st place, so you will always have the plus 1 leader without upkeep. Which, because I give everyone 100, I may change that bonus, if I can find out how. And there's also some new interactions for great powers, but we'll see them as we go along. Right, how much money do we make a month? We make 8.9 gold a month, which means we could, we're going to root our corruption to the max, because we shouldn't have any corruption. Forts, we will maintain for now. Do we have enough forts? Army tradition, we do. What's our development? I did change them on the development, so we only need 3 forts, I think. And so we can afford some advisors. I don't want to go level 2 because we only make, although this guy is cheaper, it's half price. Why is he half price? Not sure. So he would be double the price of a normal advisor. I think we start off by going, maybe tax modifier, he usually pays for himself. Here we will go for Diplo Rep guy. I think that's probably going to be most beneficial from the start. So we'll get Diplo Rep guy, and then here we will go, I'd like to do a good discipline, or I think morale's more important on the very start of the game. We'll go morale. So we're still making about 6 ducats a month. It looks like we're doing the right trade things, just at first glance. So yes, we start out with the same technology as France, as England. We don't have a tech penalty, but this will raise at 1 per year after a new institution appears. So here's the institution screen, and feudalism is the only one at the moment. It appeared in 1066. I'm pretty sure feudalism appeared before 1066, but paradox math for you. I'm pretty sure 1066, the Norman conquest, wasn't the start of feudalism, really. I suppose you could argue, but no, I think it was a bit earlier than that. And the next one appears in 1450, so 6 years from now, basically 5 years from now, because it's November already. And it's the Renaissance. It only appears in Italy, so we'll have to maybe conquer some of Venice's land, something like that. And it gets you build cost minus 5%, development cost, which they have correctly changed, because in some beta builds on some videos I had been watching, it was still in German. They hadn't mapped it to English properly. So that gives you development cost and build cost minus 5. Pretty good. You need 10% of your development to be it, and then the rest is the combined total of all this gold here on this tooltip. The next one will be colonialism in 1500, provincial trade power modifier plus 10%, printing press in 1550 plus minus 5% stability cost modifier. I believe this has to appear in a Protestant province, if I'm not mistaken, which means it's almost certainly going to appear in either Germany or England, or maybe Scandinavia, because they're the regions that normally embrace Protestantism very early. Global trade, plus 1 merchant, 1600. This is one that is quite likely to appear anywhere in the world. Like these first 4, or these first 3 that get unlocked during the game's runtime, are most likely to appear in Europe. However, this one, colonialism, is interesting, because if a human player is playing as Ming, they could theoretically go to the Americas very early, say probably just before this, probably 1490, and they could be the person to get colonialism, and that means all of the West would have to catch up on that, but they wouldn't be very quick, because it would have to spread all the way through Asia, which means that the Western nations may be way behind technological wise of the Asian nations. So that might be an interesting setup to try. So that's global trade, plus 1 merchant. That's pretty good actually, plus 1 merchant. Goods produced modifier plus 10% from manufactories, so this is wherever it'll spawn in places with manufactories in 1650. And then the Enlightenment. Culture conversion cost minus 25% in 1700, and that's the institution screen. So we can't take tech at the moment, obviously. Everything's been shifted around slightly, so it does look a bit tidier. Our national ideas, or Ottoman traditions, discipline plus 5%, tolerance of heathens plus 3. When we get all of our ideas, we'll get land force limit plus 33%. Our first idea, millets, is probably the best idea or national idea in the game. Yeah, I would say it's even better than plus 20% infantry combat ability, which is what Brandenburg and Sweden has. But millets, minus 33% core creation cost, plus 1 max promote culture. Manpower recovery plus 20%, plus 15% cavalry combat ability. Minus 10% cost of reducing war exhaustion, plus 10% national tax, plus 10% trade efficiency, and minus 10% ship cost, which is a really weak final idea. But the Ottomans are renowned in this game for building like 1 million galleys. Missions and decisions, we want this mission. Save the World's Desire gives us a free claim on Constantinople, so we'll take that. We can lose 100 military power to get plus 10% national manpower modifier for the rest of the game. That's a lot of military power, but that's definitely worth it. We're taking that. Yearly prestige until the death of my character. Good. And national unrest until the death of my character. Okay. Stability. Now, positive stability will give you institution spread plus 5%, which is huge when you're trying to keep up in tech or even get ahead. You can now show your subjects revolts, which is very helpful. And you can turn it off, which is even more helpful, because you may not want to see it. Religion-wise, we have 30 piety currently, giving us a bit more missionary strength, more morale, and some fort defense. If we went the other way, we could get some tax, some reduced technology cost, which we may actually aim to go that way, and just go humanist ideas quite early on. Because if we can get super far ahead as the Ottomans, we'll be unbeatable. Military-wise, we have a 3-3-3-1 commander, which is amazing for the start of the game. He's got inspirational leader trait, which gives you plus 10% recover army morale speed. Estates, as I've said, I've basically turned off. We're going to start the conversion of Vidin, just because we can. That's probably going to start some provincial unrest, just 1.3%, that's not too bad. The only thing we can build at the minute is castles. And I think we're about ready to get underway. One thing to check first. I want to see if... Yes, this is the new rebel screen. So Ottoman peasants, 20 provinces could be affected by it, but there's only one with unrest at the moment. It would likely spawn a 10,000 men stack. It's base of 4, and I think this is for every possible rebellion. It's base of 4. Vidin's development, so I'm guessing Vidin is a 9 development province. Where is Vidin? Up here. Yeah, it's 9 development, so it's a third of the development is how many men are likely to spawn because of that provinces, and then advances is plus 37.2%. I'm not sure exactly what advances is, but it's not likely to revolt for 64 years, so we should be fine there. And I think we're going to go straight after the Byzantines on the 11th of December. So we're going to march. We're going to appoint the leader here. We're going to march this army down to there. We are going to group up our fleet and send it out into port. Do we spend some military power on getting a second leader? I think it'll be worth it. Let's do it. 3-1-1-1 isn't too bad. Did he have a... No, he doesn't have a trait. I believe it's a 20% chance of getting a trait every battle you fight, and then multiplied by the amount of army tradition you get in that battle. So it's actually going to be like a 1% chance, something like that. Which isn't too bad, isn't too good. If we look at the Ottomans, this is just... I'm trying to remember where I put my map modes, because there's a couple new map modes. We have cores on Albania, Karaman, Ramazan, Duldakia, a couple on Akonyulu and Karakonyulu. We also have a couple on Kandar. So they will be our early expansion goals. Later on we will get the Conquer the Mamluks mission. I'm sure we will. But this is just going to be a short first episode, guys. We're going to be about a minute shorter than usual. But there will be another one later on today, so make sure to check that out. If you've enjoyed this one, make sure to like and subscribe. Tell me down in the comments below what I can do to improve the videos and what country you are going to be playing as in your first Europa Universalis 4 Rights of Man playthrough. But from me, Corvus, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope to see you later on today, and goodbye.